Hey guys, it's Frankie-Gruesim, and this is a world overview of my new world, Rosewood Park. This world is not yet public, and I'm not sure when it will be, so just know that before you watch the video. So I really like that new city world that Potato Ballad Sims made, Burrowsburg, but my Sims are not quite the completely city type of people, but I kind of like the idea of a more urban type of world, so I decided to make Rosewood Park. So Rosewood Park is supposed to be close by to a city, just with a ferry that you can access it, kind of like an old Victorian era place that used to be a getaway for the rich when they wanted to get out of the city. It's been there for a lot of time now, and it's not quite the fancy place it used to be, with still some fancy houses. So just gonna load this world up. Oop. It's mainly made of neighborhood areas and a little city area. Most of the community lots are either inspired by Burrowsburg or taken from there, for they were made by MS Poodle 1 and I'm allowed to use them for this world. She also let me make them over. So you might see some things that are slightly similar. There's also another inspiration, and Sims 4 Simmer posted a picture of a place called Echo Park, which I thought looked really amazing. It was on a big Sims 4 lot, kind of like a packed community where all the lots are really close together. And I really like the idea of having a world where the lots are in like a grid form as well in parts of the neighborhood. So more close. So most of my other worlds have a lot less lots in the same amount of space than this world does, because they're more spread out. So this world was definitely a challenge. It's a small world on a small map. Only half of it even has lots on it, because the other half is hills, like you'll know with most of my worlds. But it has around 60-ish lots. It is fully built up, but none of the lots, the residential lots, are decorated, but most of the community lots are done. Only a couple are just empty rabbit holes. Again, a lot of help from MS Poodle 1 in this. I'm not particularly good with community lots. Yeah, otherwise, most of the houses are smaller. There's the Victorian place where the community where the houses are slightly larger. And most of the houses were taken from inspo from New Orleans and the Bronx, mainly, kind of an interesting mix. Looking for houses that had slightly interesting shapes, but looked more like they are in an urban environment. Except, of course, the Victorian or the richer neighborhood part. That part was mainly from a Sims 4 creator called Alcia Rosea Sims. She makes these amazing Sims 4 houses, and I used some of the layouts of her houses to make the houses in the richer neighborhood. Yeah, let's just wait for this to load. Then I'll move a person in and we can take a look. Obviously the world includes quite a bit of CCs, a lot of it from Burrowsburg, some I converted from Sims 4, and some I made myself. Right, okay, great, it's nighttime. This is because I made a save file that fixes some issues with the world. I'm just going to move someone in and then we'll just zoom it to day. Let's just take you. So you'll see, so we have to look over the overview, we have down at the bottom the town area, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 neighborhood areas and the beach lots mainly. And there are two parts of the town. You've got the town right by here, down by the docks, and you've also got the town, more the town center area with the school and such. You'll see all the houses have a name, and it also says how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms each house has, because I like that. Just going to move into a random one. So I just take a little bit to render. There we go. Great rendering here. I'm just going to zoom this through the day for the moment. Just let him do his thing. Get rid of those. There we go. So you can see reshade in the background. You can see lights up pretty nicely at night. We have street lights everywhere. I'm just going to keep it playing so that it loads. We get to the morning. All the streets have street lights. The textures are also from Burroughsburg, and we have pavements. There's some cars standing around. All the houses are fully landscaped as well. On the outside, the only thing they really don't have is interiors. And this world, one of my favorite parts, it has its own lighting mod, which gives it more of a realistic, foggy, well, not sinister, but at least not as brightly colorful as Sims usually makes everything. Just gonna turn off reshade a bit. One of my favorite areas, which is actually good at night, just make sure the Sim doesn't die in the meantime, because he doesn't have a bed, is down here. You've got, if it loads, it's supposed to be like a little community theatre set back in the forest. It usually lights up pretty nicely. Okay, it's maybe too early in the morning. Yeah, there you go. That'll load in a second, I think. With little logs out the front where like amateur young people can perform. Hasn't loaded all the textures yet. Always takes a while with worlds at the beginning till it caches them. These are actually just posters on the wall. Okay, we're starting to get to the morning, which is good. You'll see the lighting is a bit more grey. This is actually not reshade, this is actually the lighting of the world. Okay, here a better overlay. So to the left here we have the docks area. This is still the town called the Fields mainly. You've got the Berg, which is like the little towny real town part, the docks. Then you've got, this is the park area, which is mainly the close neighborhood. You've got the richer area here. And then you've got another neighborhood here on the hills, and this lower neighborhood here, the view was more designed, like I saw some posts about like community living where lots of people work together to build houses, and I find that kind of cool. So let's start down here. Once it loads, everything's going to take a while. So this is a remake of a really cute cafe that House of 24 Sims actually made, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I placed it in, well, I had to remake it because it's pretty much on a different lot size. But it's just supposed to be a little community cafe by the docks. And in the back, again, textures are taking ages to load. It has a little community garden, which obviously if you play the world, then you can plant plants here and harvest them, which is the main point. Maybe it'll load. It's loading, yes, now it's got some textures. Yeah. So just letting the world run for a bit. So, and yeah, one of my favorite things are really this dirty window effect. Pretty much makes the entire world. So yeah, you've got the little cafe. Next to it here you have the gym. Just gonna make him visit this so that we can see inside. Here we go. You've got the gym. It's just a really basic gym downstairs. Also interior is done by Pool, because as I said, I really hate decorating. it'll load. You've got like a little yoga ballet studio upstairs, and downstairs you've just got the typical weights and machines. Changing rooms as well, which if it would load actually look better than this. A lot of them are slightly empty because I was trying not to use too much CC. Then you've got a little library next door, and this amazing laundromat that was made for Burrowsburg as well, which was just too cool to not use it. Yeah, it's loading the texture slowly now. Yeah, so you've got the little library and the gym. And yeah, this pretty damn amazing laundromat. Outside, you've obviously just got a basketball court and the cool little area on top of the laundromat. Tried to use mainly the same windows for most of the lots so that the world actually looks slightly more cohesive than a lot of my worlds do. Next to the gym, you've got typical EA rabbit hole, the grocery store. Just basically placed that down. Across from that, you have the theatre, because I like my Sims going to cinemas. And next to the theatre, you have also a House of 84 Sims remake, a little office building. Doesn't really have much in it. Basics just has, you can see, some desks and chairs. Downstairs is a bookstore rabbit hole, and inside is the journalism business rabbit hole. And from the back, right next to that, the last part in this docky area here, sorry my camera movement's really jagged, I'm not very good at this, is the police station, also by Poodle, and this place is pretty cool. It's fully decorated inside, as most of Poodle's lots. And it's pretty cool. So you've got the police station, a lot of the Sims 4 awesome conversions, and upstairs is the rest of the police station. Right. If we walk along the road, you'll see it has a lot of the Burrowsburg traffic lights. Also, most of the world has telephone wires hanging around. Ignore the horse. I actually turn my horses off, but they always seem to appear. The telephone wires around it, which I always thought adds a nice effect. Bus stops, because got to be slightly realistic. If you walk down here, between the police station and the fire station, you also can walk down to the dock area. Really like this area. This is one of the first areas I designed. Knew what I wanted here. Which just has a little food truck, some tables to sit, and if you feel like staring at the sea, you can do that. Yeah, and pigeons, because if you know me, all my worlds have pigeons. Yeah, so if we go back up to the road, we'll look across from the police station. It's just a little park. It's supposed to be like the fancier park that belongs to the town hall. You've got some chess tables, you can barbecue, and got a little gazebo over the water here. And pigeons that I haven't loaded yet, but yeah, I'll leave that. Just gonna let this play a bit more. Here we have a fire station, again from Burrowsburg, slightly modified to fit this lot size. Also completely decorated inside. There we go. Or at least basics. Just got a little kitchen and place to play here, and of course the fire car and everything. Really cute design from the outside too. Seems like it's going to be a nicer day than expected. Usually it's very foggy and rainy. This is the little hospital I made. It's pretty basic. Just had to try and fit it in. As I said, I'm not really good at making community lots, but Also decorated inside by Poodle. Just got a little mess hall. You've got a little lab, ER, I guess, down here, the waiting room. And then upstairs you have the baby, the maternity ward, I guess, and some hospital rooms. And at the top you've got a science lab. So this is, I think, the science and hospital rabbit hole rugs here. Oh no, I think it's just a hospital one, because right next door, if you go through here, you have the barracks, and you can see it's actually two barracks placed halfway on top of each other. One is the military and one is the science rabbit hole. So yeah, you've just got this in the corner. You can see the layout a bit better here. So you've got the fire station, the hospital, and the barracks. And then on the corner you have the criminal hideout, because this building just fit in so well. In case you have criminal sims, you've got this little old warehouse. Next to the pretty park, you also have Town Hall, which is just the actual EA rabbit hole. Sorry, this world is very tight, so it's very hard to take pictures sometimes. Yeah, just got the typical EA rabbit hole here. Now, if we continue down from the Berg into main town, one of my favorite lots is this warehouse. This is actually the festival grounds. And once everything has actually loaded, it should stop looking like this, because I actually modified most of it. You can see I removed the top of most of these. Also here, you used to have those speakers at the top. Modified some of the festival ground objects from EA to just fit in here a bit more, look a bit more grungy. You can see it's a summer festival at the moment, and inside you actually have the arcades. So let me just put the wall up. So downstairs you have a nice retro skating rink. Well, it's supposed to at least look a bit retro. Oh god. Yeah, just always liked the idea of them. And upstairs you have a bar, pool table, little sing and dance and music area here, 2 bowling alleys with a nice place to sit. And don't know why, but it changed the colors from all the lots again. These were actually supposed to be colored lights, not sure why it does that, but sometimes when you turn them on it doesn't use the right colors. But yeah, it has the same color lights as downstairs as well. Yes, this is festival grounds. It switches obviously with the festivals. So yeah, next to the warehouse you have the community pool, one of the first lots I actually made for this world, just with a little toilet hut, basketball courts, and just a pool. Love the idea of these striped rugs for the pool, also taken from Burrisburg. And yeah, I guess it's just a pool. Nice pool sign at the side. And then you have the school with the sports field and a bus stop, because you need a bus stop in front of a school, and pigeons, because everyone needs pigeons. Just the typical Sims 3 rabbit hole for the school, some bike racks, and the field. Another thing that I liked in Burrisburg and kind of wanted to use as well, loved the idea of using the fences to draw the field, so did that here too. If you go from the sports field out, kind of get into the parky areas, just some space for playing ball. And next to the school you have the community playground, which is just a playground, I guess. Got a little fenced in area for the smaller kids maybe, just to make sure they don't run into the streets as much. Just gonna go around in a circle for a minute and go through all the community lots. Next to the playground, you've got the diner, which I guess I can actually see. Just a typical diner with a parking lot next to it and pigeons. And behind the diner you've just got the dumping ground, in case you have Sims who like to dig for trash, with a little dumping ground house. Next to that you just have a big park with football field. There are some hidden picnic spots around here, barbecue, fireplace, and next to that you have the skating park, or skate park. Another area I quite like, seems to fit into the town for the cool kids on their school break, I guess. And if we leave that, we actually come back to the street where we started, with the cafe. Zoom out a bit. Yeah, so here you go, got the town again. So let's start with the main neighborhood, or at least I classify it as the main neighborhood. Right, so next to the community pools, I said I built it to be a very close neighborhood, so all the lots are literally right next to each other, with the obligatory one square space that Sims 3 seems to need. This is the first house. This is one of the Bronx, New York houses I saw that I thought was pretty cool. A lot of them have sunken basements, because I like that. They're all empty inside, as you can see when you're looking through them. Also love these, the idea of having bars on the bottom windows, because that kind of makes sense. They all have house numbers as well, just trying to add some realism, also with water pipes, I don't know what you call them, sewers at the side. Always a bit hard to view. You can see the telephone poles, made sure that they didn't intersect with the house. So yeah, got this house. It has a small little backyard here. You can see that the basements have windows with just a little sunken area and a little barbecue spot. One of my favorite houses. Second house has these Bahama shutters and a little slightly sunken garage, something I really like the idea of. Otherwise just a basic house. They also have satellite dishes and stuff on top of it, just to make it more realistic. So yeah, this one, just going to play again so we can get some different lighting. Then we have some of the old Victorian houses. These ones are obviously a bit bigger, as you can kind of already see, with porches and stuff. And there are 2 of these. This is more like the, I don't know, I always just imagine a little old granny living at the end of the road kind of house. Again, backyards. So it has a little kiddie play area, and this one has a little pool. And I just imagine Victorian people to have big gardens, so a lot of place to plant some fruit and veg. All houses already have room layouts and stuff, so at least they'll look good if you look around. Then you come to the end of the street where it leads to kind of the fields area. We'll go there in a minute. This is pretty much probably my favorite house. Just gotta love the sunken garage. Fully functional. That's a fully functional garage door right there. So you can put your car in there and drive into the bottom of the garage. So it looks like a relatively small house, but I don't know if I can teleport him here, because this is actually his house. I can show you what it means with the sunken. So you can see that downstairs actually has a garage, and it has another whole room, and this room actually has windows. It's just, if you look from the side, they're kind of sunken into the ground. So a lot of these houses have sunken sunken basements. Tiny little garden here, clothing line, also functional. So yeah, this is the house at the end of the road. Then you've got this little road that goes between the houses. Seen this a lot in real life and thought it was kind of cute. Tried to use the same fences and everything so it looks more uniform, as if the people can only decide what their house looks like and not the surroundings. So if we go down here, got my little slightly more 50s house in a nice blue with flamingos in the front. Also looks pretty small, has a little garden for the kids, and again you see here, if you go around, ignore that, it's holding up the bars. Should actually go away in play mode. You can also see we have a sunken basement. Oh, it's letting me kind of zoom into it. So you can see you've got a lot of extra space down here just with the sunken basement. And of course a sofa outside the door, because who doesn't want a sofa on that porch? Another house I really like, this one has like a little, I don't know, conservatory, a room type of thing. It's the house that my Sims live in. Pool in the garden, little play area for the kids. You get through from the back door, which also has a little extra room, and it seems to be missing a door. It's not rendered to go to the kitchen. And again, sunken basement, because I need space without it looking like a lot of space. You can see you've got like a whole nother extra room and bathroom downstairs. Just zoom out a bit so you can actually see a layout. So yeah, those are those three houses. Those obviously can only be accessed by going down this little snicket. There's an empty lot here that's for sale, in case anyone wants to build another house. Then if we go back to where we turned off into the road, we've got another row of houses here, again with a sunken garage. This one actually has 3 stories, as you can see, but the third one is just tiny rooms for windows. Yeah, and again with a basement and a nice garden. So pool, barbecue area, and balcony type thing. Oh god. Got the little blue house here. It's supposed to be kind of a mix between like Victorian leftover, but not quite as nice as the big Victorian houses. This one doesn't have a sunken basement, but also another little garden in the back. And then we have the first house, residential lot I actually built, again with Bahama shutters. That will snap back down. Sometimes it's just being weird when it's loading. And this one also has a sunken basement and a little backyard. Here again you can see where it goes into the basement, and again a pool, a kid play area. If I zoom in you can see the basement again, most likely. Yeah, got a pretty big basement space here too. I don't know, playroom or whatever you want. Those will also snap back down hopefully. So yeah, this is the park area that you've got. So you can see you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 houses here. And obviously opposite you've got the park, playground, school, field. Makes for a nice little urban type place. Right, let's go to the water next. So along the edge you have the beach and the beach lots. So if you go from downtown along the main road, you'll find a few houses here. This first house is actually one I built for a reuse ages ago, and I just kind of modified it to fit this world because I just really liked it. This one also has a sunken basement. I think that was the first time I started making sunken basements. It's just like a little fisherman's kind of hut, but from the front you can see it has another set of rooms downstairs and has this long pier, which I think a lot of you know from a reuse, because I really like taking photos of it with the lights. So yeah, you've got this little house here. If you continue along the beach, can see I use a lot of Sims 4 stuff that I've retextured to make it look a bit more realistic. You've got the fisherman's house. It's just supposed to be an old, fisherman's house here. Dirty windows and corrugated iron, corrugated walls. You can see same on the inside, kind of, with a little pier. If you then follow the road past the diner, get kind of into the nicer area of town. You get some cottages. This is a little cottage number 1. These are also inspired by Alcia Rosea's lots, with a little garden and a little vegetable fruit garden here, and a nice view of the beach. And going along, get the second little cottage. Just another little place. These houses were mainly designed for the parents of my Sims, so my elder Sims, so that they can have a nice little place to enjoy their retirement. And going along the road, you get to the third little cottage. Here, this one, with a nice little porch here to look over the water. Beside it, you've got the pathway to the beach here. And you'll just see that the pathway leads all the way to another fisherman's house. Some half-dead birds, what it looks like in the sky. It's just another old fisherman's house. I guess this person likes to do woodworking and stuff, because that's what I put in their garden. And you've got this little, I guess, sandy pier that you can go along and look out. And next to that, you've got the beach lot. It's just supposed to be a basic beach lot. This place isn't very fancy. Fire, toilet, and a pier, and a guy who makes roasted chestnuts. Lifeguard, if there was one on duty. And the pier is supposed to be one of those piers you can swim off of. I don't know if that's gonna balk the Sims if they actually go off the pier, but it has another one of those floating swimming places in the water. Used to love those as a kid. Yeah. So that's the overview of the beach area. You can see now here with those houses. You can see all the lights in the windows, which I think is really cool. Right, from here you have opposite that, you've got like the richy area with the really big houses that I probably won't ever decorate because I hate big houses. But you can see them here. I don't want to save, but thanks for reminding me. So if you go down here, you've got like these rows of trees. So you saw some pictures of some houses somewhere that were like hidden behind trees, and I thought it was really cool. So rows of trees. And you've got the white houses. These are kind of hard to see because there's so many trees, but they're all over like 3 to 6. Some of them have more bedrooms than that, and they're supposed to be a bit fancier. So here you've got a nice pool in the garden. If we go along, see if we can actually see something through these trees. A lot of them have a little greenhouse in the back. This one has an orchard. Kind of hard to see, but they're relatively big if you look from the top. You've got the biggest lot in the corner. I think it's somewhere around 40 times 40. I don't like bigger lots. This one has like a little fire pit area. You've got a gazebo in the backyard. Little screen room here. A pool. A little gardening area. And a kids' play area. And leading behind the house, if you go around or between the houses, you kind of get to the road that leads down to the forest. There's not much in the forest except a little camping site here where you can build up your tent, and next to it the gazebo for weddings, or I guess Oh yeah, we kind of forgot that area. You can also, I'll go there afterwards. Just try and get back to these houses. God. It's the only issue with this world is it's so packed full that it's really hard to get good views of stuff. Another huge house. I think this one or the next one is, yeah, this one, nope. Yeah, it's one made by Asexual Sims. I just remodeled to fit in this world. Also has a nice little garden here in the back. This one's huge. I don't know how many bedrooms it has, like 7. And the last one in the row. Again, another one with a garage. And way too many bedrooms for me. So yeah, that's the rich area, I guess. If we go back along here and we go back to that little, where it borders the park, you can see there's a little road that goes in here past the dumpsters. And behind there, kind of go into like a little forest walk, I don't know, jogging area, walk the dog area. You've got the river going along here. And you get to that little theatre. But other than that, it's just kind of the river, view of town, and obviously the hills everywhere around. So you can see if I zoom out, it's a small map size. Half of that is mountains, and I'm pretty sure that took me like 10 hours to paint. That is all hand painted because I don't like auto paint. Right, got the rich area. Then you get to the hill. And another damn horse. Those people driving up this very, very steep hill. If you've ever worked in Core, you'll know that Core likes to randomly change your terrain. So everything that used to be flat became hilly, sharp corners stopped being sharp, and it just got really annoying. These are supposed to be smaller, like urban neighborhood type houses that are all relatively similar. You see a lot of street pictures with like the same house 3 times, just with tiny modifications. So here you've got the first one. This is pretty much the same house, just with a different porch, and this little windows in the middle instead. This is a little different one. Really like this one. And this one. A little white version of it. Parked cars between these cars are usable. They're not actually deco cars. These are deco cars in the parking space here by the apartment blocks, but the cars between the houses are actually usable. And then you've got this apartment block, which is 3 houses, 3 apartments next to each other. They kind of all from the back just have a big drop, so there's a big fence that goes around the back of this place. Then here you have again just more of these small houses. Hey, these all mostly have like 2 bedrooms and not much more. And then these are the ones that inspired it. This is from a picture. Again, 3 very similar houses along here, just all slightly different. I just love the idea of these roofs that kind of go all the way to the back. I know it clips the window, but it's Sims. Can't really help that sometimes. With little front yards that you can see with bikes and basketball and stuff. And then on the other side, you've got this community neighborhood I was talking about. They have a little community pool first, and then a lot of brightly colored houses, all with little pathways. So you've got the red house here. These houses are really tiny. Little green one. They kind of go around this little circle path. Little blue one here. In the middle of this circle, you've got a little playground. Pink house. More of a little playground here. Nice views. You can see the lighting. It's like a light grey blue, purple house, orange house, and at the back you have the cemetery here and the pub. In case you want like an old English pub type style, that was the plan, with a little outdoor bar area and seating, taking the nice views of the sea behind it. So yeah, that's pretty much an overview of the world. I think that was it. I'll see if I can just scroll through some different weather and stuff. Let's see if we can change the weather. Seasons, change season to change season to fall. Trees on fast loop. Rainbow. Hills. See, the trees are EA trees, so they'll change colour, so the whole thing becomes kind of orange in fall, which, again, use the same tree everywhere to try and give it a more cohesive look. I think it looks pretty nice in autumn. Always takes a while to load the lots, and then it looks really empty for a while. Let's change season to winter and see if we can get some snow. You'll see it works pretty well with snow. The only slightly issue areas around the beach, but that actually worked a lot better than expected. Nice hills there in the background. They look pretty awesome in the snow. Season set snow level deep. Let's see. Yeah. Little snowy Rosewood Park. So yeah, that's pretty much just a short overview of this world, what I've been doing. I use the snow mod that edits the snow to look more realistic. You can see it's actually pretty cool in the way the roads look and stuff, and the windows and the icicles. Waiting for the school has disappeared, and you can see the lighting again is just a bit different. Don't know if I can zoom through it a bit, but yeah, I kind of modified it to look more realistic and not so pinky blue. So that was it.